So I was at the Emirates Stadium yesterday and you could feel it. The nervous tension, the sense that something was coming, and then suddenly Arsenal might have taken a massive step towards the Premier League title. Max Dowman, you absolute gem. Welcome to Alpha Talks Arsenal, and honestly, this weekend might end up being remembered as the weekend that we took a huge step toward the Premier League, because Arsenal beat Everton late at the Emirates and Man City dropped points away at West Ham. Put those two things together and suddenly the title race feels very different. Let's start at the Emirates. And by the way, I've lost my voice from that game yesterday. It was absolute chaos at the end. I sit next to the dugout, on the left of the dugout. The craziest football match that I've ever been to. It was insane. So where do I start? So this win over Everton was not comfortable whatsoever. Not even slightly comfortable. They hit the woodwork, forced big saves from Raya, defended deep, slowed the game down, and generally did everything David Moyes' teams love to do when they go away to a big side. Turn the game into a scrap, which is exactly the sort of game that we don't do very well in. And for long periods, it worked. It was working. Arsenal had the ball, but the rhythm wasn't quite there. The chances were not clean. The crowd started to get that nervous energy that we all know and hate at the Emirates. You know the feeling, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Every attack feels massive. I really wasn't sure what was happening with Saliba in this game. I saw a couple of videos earlier on today that were saying they thought that he had a pretty decent game, but there's an issue from defence to midfield for me. We seem to lose the ball, and Saliba did that, I think, 5-6 times yesterday. I didn't like his performance. I thought his defending was good, but his distribution was terrible. But it's one of those games, every blocked shot feels like the world is ending. Every minute that ticks away just increases the tension inside the stadium. But this Arsenal team has developed something over the past 12 or so months. They do not panic. They just keep pushing. Wave after wave of pressure, recycling the ball, dragging teams deeper and deeper, and eventually something breaks. This time, the turning point came from the bench. Arteta changed the game after the hour mark by bringing on Gyökeres and one Max Dowman. Maximilian Dowman. And suddenly the energy shifted. More vertical runs, more movement in the box, more chaos in dangerous areas. And then we get the moment. The 89th minute. Max Dowman, 16 years old, picks the ball up on the right. Instead of playing safe, instead of recycling possession, he does the brave thing. He whips the ball into a horrible area for Everton. Pickford comes out, tries to be the hero. He flaps at it, doesn't claim it. The ball ricochets off Nkapia, and Viktor Gyökeres reacts fastest to bundle it over the line. Unbelievable relief. The Emirates went mental at this point. I was with my brother, so I took my brother to this game. My older brother, he's not been to an Arsenal game before, and we've been planning this for a couple of months. And we just went nuts, like absolutely nuts. It was just a beautiful moment, that Gyökeres goal. Beautiful, because everyone around the stadium, it wasn't the negative Emirates so much. It was more like, we can do this, like, come on, like, you're better than this. It wasn't like, you're rubbish, you know, like pointing and blaming. It was more like supportive sort of negativity, if that makes sense, to say like, don't mess this up, guys, like, we've got this. And when Gyökeres scored, man, the place went absolutely nuts. One of the best moments for me personally going to an Arsenal game. Relief, belief, that sense that maybe this is actually going to be happening at this point. But the story didn't end there. It was just starting, because in stoppage time, Everton throw everyone forward. Pickford goes up for a corner. This is the last minute of the game now. Arsenal clear it, and suddenly there's just open grass for Max Dowman. To be fair, he earned that open grass. He headed it through the middle, got past two players, and there's just emptiness at this point. Pickford's in the other box, or actually no, Pickford's chasing towards the goal, and he's looking behind him. He's like this, Dowman's like this, just looking behind him, just going. Martinelli's to his right, scores the goal, and it just goes absolutely nuts. Emirates goes mad. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. At around the 75th minute, the Arsenal fans were going a bit mental. And there was a guy above us, maybe 5 rows back, and he starts shouting towards Arteta. He goes, Mikel, play Max. Get Max on. Max is doing warm-ups like in front of us at this point, and we're like just by the pitch, so everything's happening right before us. We can see Mikel Arteta. He's just like there, you know. And Mikel Arteta sees him, and he's like sort of going like this at this guy. He's like shouting, like everyone can hear this guy because it's quite quiet at this point. Get Max on, get Max. And then Max is going by and he's like, Max, take your shirt off. And everyone's sort of laughing. And then Gabriel Heinze is looking back at the guy, and he's like, do you want to come and manage? Like literally look at him being like, do you want to come and manage? And we're all just like, wow, this is a mad moment. Within 2 minutes, Max is taking his shirt off, and we're all looking at the guy behind us laughing. I got a selfie. I'm going to put the selfie up on screen right now of this guy. Here he is on screen. I just had to go away to get that selfie. So like, and I'm looking back at him when he's doing all this, and we're sort of all just laughing. Like Max is getting his shirt on, and obviously that's around the, what was it, like maybe the 75th minute I think Max came on, or maybe a little bit later. But I was looking back at him, and he was looking. I was like, mate, this is crazy, and he's like laughing at me and stuff. And so anyway, I get the selfie after the game. I go and find him because I'm just like, I need to go and speak to that guy. It was just such an amazing moment. And when Mikel Arteta comes to the touchline, you see him like celebrating with the fans. So the story behind that is that Mikel Arteta was trying to find this guy to be like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, do something, or like shut up type thing, like sort of flexing at this guy. That's the reason that Mikel Arteta came to the crowd, like right in front of us. It was such a mad moment. I don't even know if it like actually happened in a way. It was so strange, but just an incredible game. There's so much more I could talk about thinking about this game, but I'll leave it at that. But yeah, Max Dowman, like this guy. I've ordered my Max Dowman shirt today. Very excited about this, and what a player we've got on our hands here. Like generational talent potentially. I don't want to get my hopes up. What can you say about this guy? 16 years old. He's going back to school tomorrow morning. It's crazy. Not even done his GCSEs. Generational talent potentially. I don't want to. Maybe we just need to calm down a bit, but this guy looks legit. It is crazy. My voice is gone, as I said, and last night I just couldn't sleep. So I couldn't get to sleep till about 12 because I was just buzzing, like listening to content, and then I just woke up at 4 and then just carried on with like, you know, reading stuff and listening to podcasts and stuff. So an absolutely incredible 24 hours as a Gooner. Man, I love this club. It was so mad. It was such a mad moment. What a mad game. I want to big up to Everton as well, because they did their job, right? Like they came for a 0-0, and they could have got a 1-0 or even a 2-0, hitting the post. They had some good chances, to be fair. Raya was unbelievable. So want to big up Everton as well. Absolute history made, and I was there. The youngest ever Premier League goal scorer. And more importantly, he might have just helped decide a title race. It's one of those moments you get in a title winning season. You know, like the unexpected hero. Who could have predicted what happened yesterday? The 16-year-old off the bench, and suddenly a player who was one for the future is now a part of the present. Just an incredible story. I can't believe that I was actually there for that. Still kind of pinching myself. My brother has been texting me all day. We've just been buzzing about what happened. It was crazy. I don't see him that much as well. So like for us to share that moment was huge. I've also ordered him a Max Dowman shirt, so that when it arrives, maybe I'll show it on a show. But the other half of the story happened later on in the evening. So Man City went to West Ham and dropped points. Yeah, boy. City took the lead through Bernardo Silva, but West Ham equalised from none other than Mavropanos, a previous gunner. Had an absolutely sensational game. He was man of the match. And after that header, City just could not find a winner. They pushed, they had possession, they absolutely controlled that game, but they looked strangely blunt. Haaland had a bit of a stinker. Intensity wasn't quite there. And it's one of those games, like, killer instinct was not there for them whatsoever. This is not the City of 2 years ago. And West Ham, with basically one meaningful shot on target all game, walked away with a point. For City, it feels more like a defeat, right? Like, this is a mad moment. For Arsenal, it feels absolutely enormous because the gap at the top looks very real. Momentum is with Arsenal, and psychologically, this changes everything. This Arsenal team now expects to win games late. The mentality is totally there. They expect pressure to pay off. That's a massive shift from the Arsenal side we've seen over the past couple of years. Champions don't always win beautifully. They win stubbornly. They win late. They win when things feel uncomfortable. This was exactly that kind of performance. Couldn't be prouder at this moment. Around the rest of the league, there was a few other results worth mentioning. Manchester United beat Aston Villa 3-1 to strengthen their push for the Champions League places. I saw a bit of that game until Man United started winning and I turned it off and put on Forest. Newcastle went to Stamford Bridge and nicked a 1-0 win over Chelsea, which is a massive result for them, and Chelsea are in the bin again. Brighton also picked up 3 points away at Sunderland, a nice 3 points there for Brighton. Elsewhere, there were a couple of stalemates, so Burnley drew 0-0 with Bournemouth. Crystal Palace and Leeds finished goalless at Selhurst Park, and Nottingham Forest drew 0-0 with Fulham in a game that probably helps neither side very much. I was really hoping Forest would win that for the Spurs stuff, but it wasn't to be. But the most bizarre result has come from Anfield, just now. Liverpool drew 1-1 with Tottenham. Liverpool took the lead through a Szoboszlai free kick. That guy is crazy. Although the goalkeeping was terrible, still Szoboszlai is he's a set piece specialist. This guy, he's so silky. And for long periods, it felt like they were just waiting to finish Spurs off, or just kind of looking for the 1-0 win. But instead, they drifted through the game. The tempo dropped off. The urgency disappeared. And in the 90th minute, Richarlison popped up with an equaliser. It felt like watching two people trying to assemble IKEA furniture using instructions from a completely different product. It was one of the worst games that I've seen. One of the worst big six, inverted commas, games that I have ever seen in the Premier League. I was texting in a group chat, FPLHQ, shout out to you guys. There are a couple of Liverpool fans in there who always give me crap about Arsenal. They're always like just giving me crap. And I just said to them, like, you guys have been giving us shit all season and I'm going to give it back to you. Like, you are absolutely woeful. You do not deserve Champions League. I was quite harsh, I think. I had to put love hearts at the end of my messages just to sort of like tone them down a bit. I was mostly annoyed because of the fact that we're so close to getting Spurs relegated and Liverpool have just helped them. It's just such a rubbish result for Liverpool. Like, not only do they need the points, but also they haven't helped us in our quest to get Spurs relegated. I'm absolutely livid about that game. What a waste of time. It was sort of like watching two washing machines fighting each other. Just awful, awful game of football. For Spurs, it's actually an absolutely massive point. They're still right in the middle of the relegation fight, but a draw at Anfield after weeks of chaos gives them something, some belief, some life. For Liverpool fans, though, that will feel like 2 points thrown away. They have to be so annoyed this evening. And it continues a strange pattern this season where they take the lead, lose control of the game, and concede late. But the real headline from this weekend sits right at the top of the table. Arsenal won. Yes, boys. Max Dowman has arrived. Yes, mate. Man City have slipped. Hold that. And suddenly the title race looks like it might genuinely be tipping toward the best part of North London. It is not over. There are still games to play. But weekends like this are often the ones you look back on in May. The uncomfortable win against Everton, the late drama, the arrival of Max Dowman, the rivals dropping points. Those are the ingredients of title-winning seasons, and Arsenal might have just had one of those moments. Big up to you for watching the video. Thanks so much for listening to me this evening. If you could give the video a like and maybe some hype points, that'd be really appreciated. Give the channel a subscribe. We're just getting started here. I'm on the road to 10 subscribers. That's mad. So yeah, thank you for all your support, and hit me up with a like and a subscribe. Appreciate you. Have a great evening. Come on, you Gooners.